We're starting in summer. And for many of us, this is our first summer because we feel like we've been kind of, locked away for the last 3 years for better part due to COVID. And there's this kind of this angst, this desire that we really want to get out there. And then all of a sudden we feel that we've been, hit blindsided by, in terms of just soaring costs and prices out of control. Unfortunately, in terms of economically speaking, this has just been part of what's been sowing out there. The government had, to kind of provide a lifeline to everyone when we initially started in the pandemic, injected billions of dollars and literally 5 trillion into the economy. So there was a tremendous amount of money passing through the system. But some of the bigger aspects that we as people and consumers are going to have to try to digest and take into account so that we can be smarter and ascend through this time is understanding that a lot of disruption happened to our normal supply chains. So when we talk about how our lives had gotten disrupted, that people's kids were going to school via Zoom, you weren't able to socialize, you weren't able to travel, lots of places were closed down. Well, many of the goods that we use in daily lives also got affected as well. If you remember during those times when there was limits on toilet paper and hand sanitizer, well, believe it or not, you're seeing in terms of affected buying new cars. If you've been hearing about in terms of on the news, baby formula, that there's been shortages. Much of this is not necessarily directly from COVID. This is part of been in a long-term aspect that for greater part of 30 years that we have relied upon a lot of our goods coming from overseas, and various different countries had been affected differently. And when you see particularly in Asia and as well as China, they're still experiencing lockdowns. They've been experiencing in terms of these massive surges in COVID in different waves, and they have tried to react to it differently. But the ripple effect that it shows is how we all share in terms of in the same globe, that what happens in one part of the world directly impacts us here. And many of the goods that we rely upon, that not only that there are delays, but as a result, that demand is completely outpacing what's coming in the store shelves. So the end result has been this trickling down of massive inflation wherever we see into the economy. And you're also seeing it when you go out to eat, go to a restaurant, if you're trying to go and basically buy some new clothes or some electronics, as well as in terms of any good out there.